Welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to go through a full playthrough of Canvas with the solo Automa. I've gone ahead and set up the game per the setup instructions. If you don't know how to do that, check my how to play video and that will walk you through the setup. In this game, our four scoring conditions are proximity, variety, emphasis, and composition. For proximity, we want these two icons next to each other. For variety, we have to have one of each icon present on our finished painting. For emphasis, we need one hue, exactly one hue. And for composition, we need one of each color on our finished painting. I've given myself 3 background cards as well as 4 inspiration tokens, and I've gone ahead and picked 2 opponents to play against. Let's go ahead and look at those people now. I am playing against an easy opponent in Helen because there's only one paintbrush in the top left, and I'm playing against a normal opponent in Georgia because there are 2 paintbrushes. Additionally, I've placed ribbons for tracking purposes only on to the top of each column, and I've given them 4 inspiration tokens each. So just like that, we are ready to begin. So play starts with the human player, so that's me. I kind of like this card because it has 2 tones on it. And if I can get a texture here and then another texture here, I could get 2 ribbons over here when I complete this painting. And this is worth 12 if I can get 4 red ribbons at the end of the game. This one's worth 13, this one's 11, and 9. Yep, let's go ahead and take this one into our hand. You can have a maximum of 5 into your hand before you have to complete a painting. All these cards will now slide down, and since I took this card in market slot 1, I don't have to leave any inspiration tokens behind. Moving to Helen's turn, she's going to draw a card from the solo deck. And she wants to take an art card in the second slot, and she'll have to leave an inspiration behind in the first slot. So she'll take this card. She will leave an inspiration behind. All of these cards will slide down. And then comparing the card she took, she needs to slide down the markers for red and purple. So let's do the colors first. So red will slide down 1, purple will slide down 1, and then she needs to do the icons. So tone will slide down 1. And this icon doesn't slide down anything. Whenever you see a black ribbon with per, the AI ignores that. So we'll just go ahead and place this into its player area. You will check the bottom of the AI card, and this says if it has 3+ art card in its player area, it will complete a painting on this turn. It only has 1, so its turn is over. Moving to Georgia's turn, she wants to take the art card in the third slot, and she's going to drop 2 inspiration tokens on 1 and 2. So she will drop an inspiration here, and she will take this card. And we will go ahead and slide all these down. Comparing her card, her player area, to the card she took, she's going to move yellow and purple. So she'll move yellow down 1. This triggers a red movement, so we'll go ahead and move red down 1. Go ahead and do purple next. And then we need to do texture. And this one doesn't do anything. Looking at the AI card, it says if it has 4 art cards in its player area, go ahead and complete a painting, but it doesn't. So its turn will end, and it will go back to me. I think I want this art card, so I'm going to put an inspiration here. I'm going to gain this inspiration and gain this art card. And now, looking at my cards so far, I have 3 of the 5 colors I need, and I still have my sun and sun here, so if I can get the textures to go here, that would give me a couple of ribbons, so that would be perfect. Go ahead and slide these down. Moving to Helen's turn, she'll flip over a card. So she wants the card in market slot 5, so she will place 4 inspiration tokens on all the cards before it. She only has 3, so let's see what happens here. She will take 1 here, place 1 here, place 1 in here, and she can't afford to get to the 5th spot, so she will take the 4th spot. Go ahead and slide these down. Alright, so we need to move Helen's ribbons down for green and blue. Looking at her player board, she doesn't have a green, so we ignore that one, but blue she does. So we'll move blue down. That triggers a texture. That triggers a triangle. And now we need to move the triangle down 1. And then the texture moves down at 2. So 1, that moves down a tone, And then one more. Oop, that moves down a red. Ooh, that was a good one for the AI. We will go ahead and place this in its player area. And then looking at the art card, it says if it has 3 or more cards, it only has 2, so we'll not complete a picture yet. And then we need to shuffle this card along with the discard pile back into the solo deck. All right, it's George's turn. All right. It flips over. It wants the card in slot 1, so it doesn't have to leave any inspiration tokens behind. Oh man, it's going to get all 4 of those inspiration tokens, so it will gain these 4, as well as this art card. It will slide all these down. Looking at the art card it took, it's going to move down yellow and blue. So we'll move down yellow. Ooh, that triggered a red. Ooh, that triggered a texture. It's got another ribbon, and then it's going to get blue. And then it's going to do 2 hues, this is blocking this, but it's there. So 2 hues, 1, 2, that triggered a green. And it's going to trigger a triangle, but it doesn't have any triangles, so it just ignores that. And this goes into its player area. That's the second card it has. This says to complete a painting if it has 4 or more, so it doesn't. So now it is back to me. I think I want this card because it's going to give me a yellow, and it's going to give me a triangle, and maybe I can get one of each of the different symbols. So in order to get this, I need to leave inspiration here, here, and here. I will take this into my hand. I will slide these down. And now it's back to the Automa. Helen is going to go. She's going to flip over a card. She wants to take this card in slot 3, but she doesn't have any inspiration tokens, so she'll have to claim the card in spot 1. So she'll claim both of these inspiration tokens. And then take this card. Looking at this card, let's do the colors first. Green, she doesn't have any greens. Purple, she does, so she'll move purple down 1. And then texture, there are 2 texture icons on it, so 1, 2. And then there's also a tone, so we'll move tone down. And that gives her her 3rd art card. And so this says if she has 3 or more art cards in her player area, then she's going to go ahead and paint a picture. What I like to do, in the setup I said the AIs don't need these cards, but I actually like to use them anyway. Technically you don't need them. I want to pretend like I'm playing like a multiplayer game. So that is the painting that they painted, Exploring Childhood. So we'll place that next to the Automa. And now it's going to score based off of its current player board. So looking by column, it's going to score a blue ribbon. It's going to no ribbon there, no ribbon there, a black ribbon, another black ribbon, and a green ribbon. After that, we will go ahead and reset her player board so that all the ribbons are back to their starting points. And just like that, it's time to move to Georgia. All right, it wants to take the card in slot 2, and it will leave an inspiration behind on slot 1. So it will place an inspiration on slot 1, and it will take card in slot 2. Looking at its player board, it's going to move down green and purple. So green will move down, which is going to trigger a yellow. Purple will move down, which is going to trigger another yellow. And then it will do 2 hues, 1, 2, and a triangle. There are no triangles on its board. This gives it its 3rd art card. And this says if it has 3 or more. So it does. So we're going to go ahead and score for Georgia as well. I'm going to take one of these, place them all in there, and so that's the painting it painted. Now we need to score for it. It's going to get a blue, a green, a purple, a red, and a black. So not bad, Georgia. And then we go ahead and reset the player board so that the ribbons are all at the top. And now it's back to my turn. So this would be what my current painting looks like. I need one more though. I need a blue, and I really need a texture right here or right here, but there has to be a yellow as well. So there's a blue, but I don't like that one. And I only have 1 inspiration token. So I'm going to take this one just because I need inspiration. This gives me my 4th art card in my hand, so I don't have to paint a picture this turn, but I'm going to have to be doing that very soon here. So it's back to Helen's turn. She wants the card in slot 3, so she will place inspiration on 1 and 2 and take this. Looking at her card, she's going to move red and purple. So red will move down one, purple will move down one, and then she's going to get to move 2 triangles and 1 tone. So 1 tone and 2 triangles. And we'll place this in its player area, giving it 1 card, so it doesn't have 4, it only has 1 currently. Alright, Georgia's going to get to go. Georgia wants the card in slot 3 as well, and is going to leave behind 2 inspiration tokens. So we'll place an inspiration on slot 1 and 2, and take this card. So Georgia wants to use yellow and purple. So yellow will move down 1, which moves down red. Purple will move down 1. Hue will move down 1, and texture will move down 2. And we'll place this to the right, starting a new painting. So I'm going to go ahead and take this card to get the 2 inspiration, and this gives me my 5th art card. So next turn I will have to complete a painting. Alright, Helen will go. She wants the art card in slot number 1, so she doesn't have to leave any inspiration behind, which she doesn't have any anyway. So she'll take the 2 inspiration sitting here. She'll take this card and she'll slide all these down. Looking at the card she took, she needs to move down red and green. So red will move down 1. She doesn't have any green. Then she needs to do tone and then texture. So tone will move down 1. Texture will move down 1. That's triggers a triangle to move that down 1. It will add this to its player area, giving it 2. So it doesn't have 4, so it won't complete a painting yet. Georgia's turn. She wants the card in slot 4. She's going to leave 3 inspiration cards behind. So 1, 2, 3. And she'll take this one. We'll go ahead and slide these down. Looking at her card, she's going to slide down yellow, which is going to trigger a red, which will trigger a texture, which will trigger a hue, which will trigger a green. Whew. She will trigger green, which will trigger a yellow. She will do a texture, and she doesn't do anything for this icon. She'll place this in her player area. That's 2 cards. She does not have 4, so she will not complete a picture. Back to my turn. So I have 5 cards in my hand. So this is the picture I'm going to create. It's an ominous game. I have 1 of each color, so I'm going to get a purple. I have exactly 1, so I'm going to get a blue. I have 1, 2, 3, 1 of each, so I'm going to get a green. And I don't have any textures, and I don't have any textures next to tones, so I don't get anything for proximity. But I do get an extra bonus ribbon. I get 1 because I have 1 texture on my painting. So I'll go ahead and slide this in. And now my first painting is done. I'll move that off to the side. I still have 2 cards in my hand. Back to Helen's turn. She'll flip over a solo card. She wants the card in slot 2, so she'll leave behind 1 inspiration. So she'll leave behind 1 and take this card, gaining an inspiration. And then we'll slide all these cards down. Looking at her card, she's going to move down red and yellow. So she'll move down red 1. She doesn't have a yellow. She'll do 2 tones. So 1, 2, and a triangle. And that will give her her 3rd art card. And looking here, it says if she has 3 or more, she will go ahead and paint. So we'll take her 3 art cards. We will slide them into a painting. It's just called Heavy. She'll place it next to her player board. And now she will be awarded a blue, a gray, or a black, and a green. And then we need to reset her player board. Georgia gets to go. Georgia wants the card in slot 5. She wants this card, however, she only has 1 inspiration. So she will drop it off on slot 1 and just takes the card in slot 2. She'll gain an inspiration and gain this card. And then she'll move all of these down. Looking at her card, Georgia is going to move down red and green. So red and green. And then 2 triangles. She doesn't have triangles, thank goodness. And then a texture. So move that down. She'll place this in her player area, giving her 3. Looking at this card, she will go ahead and complete the picture. So she made Chosen Anxiety. That's her second picture. She will get a blue, green, and purple. And we will go ahead and reset her player board. At the end of her turn, because she drew this card, we will go ahead and shuffle the solo deck and play passes to me. I think I want this card because of the texture on it and the purple. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and take this card, add it to my hand. This is what my current painting looks like. I would really like to get a sun here, and then I can complete this painting. We will move these down. Back to the AIs. Helen will try to grab this one in slot 5, but she only has 2 inspiration tokens. So she will put one here, and grab this card. Looking at the card she drew, she's going to move down red and blue, which is going to trigger a texture, which is going to trigger a triangle. And then she will trigger another texture, which is going to trigger a tone, and then another triangle. And this will be the first card in her possession. We also need to shuffle this card back into the solo deck. Georgia will now go, and she will take the card in slot 1, gaining all that inspiration. Of course she will. So she will grab another 5 to add to her 1, so she has 6 total inspiration. We will slide all these cards down. Looking at her card, she's going to move down yellow, which is going to trigger a red and a purple. And then she's going to do 2 triangles. Thankfully, she doesn't have any triangles. And a tone. She doesn't have any of those either. Perfect. Back to me. I'm going to take this Pride. So I'm going to leave an inspiration on Nightmare and take Pride into my hand. That's my 4th card. Back to Helen's turn. She will grab the card in slot 1. So now the AI is officially hogging all of the inspiration tokens. I thought we were friends here. We'll slide all of these down. Looking at the card Helen took, she will move down green and purple. She doesn't have any green, so she'll just move down purple. And then she doesn't move down anything for this one. And this one she gets a triangle. So that'll give her her 2nd card, so she doesn't quite yet make a painting. Georgia will now go, and she wants the card in slot 4, leaving behind 3 inspiration. So 1, 2, 3. She'll take this one. Move these down. Georgia will move down yellow and purple. So yellow will move down 1, which triggers the red, which triggers the texture. Purple will move down 1, which triggers the yellow. And then it needs to do this hue, so it will move this one down. And that will give her card number 2. I think I'm going to complete a painting because I would like to see some more inspiration tokens stack up here. So I'm going to complete this painting with 3 cards. So I have 1 of each color. So I'm going to get a purple. I do not have exactly 1 hue, so I'm not going to get blue. I do have variety. I have at least 1 of each, so I will get a green. And I do have a texture on here, but it's not next to a tone or the sun, so I will not get a proximity. So that is my 2nd painting, Fragile Pride. I do have 1 card left in my hand, so we'll move on to the AI's turn. The AI, for Helen, will draw a card in slot 1, so it will get this inspiration token. It's not leaving me any, and grab this one, slide all these down. Alright, it wants to move down yellow and green. There is no yellow or green, so this is a good one. 2 tones, so 1, 2, and a hue, that one, which moves down texture, which moves down red. And this gives it its 3rd in its player area, but this card says it's looking for 4, so it's not going to paint this turn. Georgia will now draw. And she wants card in slot 3. She's going to leave inspiration behind on the first 2. So 1, 2, and take this, moving these down. Georgia's going to move down yellow and green. So yellow will move down 1, green will move down 1, hue will move down 1, which triggers a green, which triggers a yellow. And then the triangle, there are no triangles, so this gives it its 3rd. It gives Georgia her 3rd. Looking at the card, it's looking for 4, so she will not paint this turn. I'm going to take the card in slot 1, which will give me my 2nd, and this will give me 4, or 3 of the 4 for variety. The AI is going to go, so we know they're both going to paint this turn. And draw a card for Helen. She wants the card in slot 5, and I think she can afford it too. So 1, 2, 3, 4. She'll take this one. Looking at Helen's board, she'll move red and green. So red, there are no greens. Hue, and 2 of these. So 1, 2. She'll go ahead and put that in her player area. And then looking at her card, it says 3 or more. She'll go ahead and paint. So she'll take all of these. Like I said, you don't have to do this part, but I like seeing it. So she painted a Liberated Nightmare, and that is her 3rd painting. Go ahead and score for her. So she gets a blue, a gray, or a black, sorry, another black, and a purple and green. Ugh, I don't think I'm going to win this. I don't even think I'm going to beat the easy person. We do need to shuffle this card and all the discards back into the solo deck. So Helen is done. I'm going to go ahead and remove her ribbons so they're not confusing when we go to score Georgia. But I am going to leave her inspiration tokens on in case there's a tiebreaker. For Georgia, I'm going to draw a card. She wants the card in slot 1. Of course she does. She wants to take all the inspiration from me. So I'll take all of these 3 and add it to her board as well as this card, and then slide all of these down. We will place these on her board. And then she wants to move blue and purple. So blue, purple, and then 2 triangles. She has no triangles, and hue. So hue will move down 1. That gives her her 4th. This says it's looking for 4, so she will go ahead and paint. We will slide all 4 of these in here. And she gets Innocent Truth. And that is her 3rd painting. So we need to go ahead and score for her. So she gets a blue and a green. Blue, green, nothing, nothing, black, and red. And I'll go ahead and remove her ribbons, but not her inspiration tokens, just so there's no confusion for end of game scoring. And now I just continue to go until I complete my 3rd painting, which is the same as in the multiplayer rules. So I'm going to take this card, Sanctuary, putting an inspiration here, gaining 1. This is what my painting looks like so far, and that's with 3 cards. So I'm going to take Warning. So I'll leave an inspiration here, take this one. I'll move these down. So now I have 4 cards in my hand. And I think I'm going to actually go ahead and paint these 3 cards. So my finished painting is a Harmonious Sanctuary. So I have 1 of each color. So I will get a purple. I'm not going to get anything for proximity. I'm not going to get anything for variety. I'm not going to get anything for emphasis. But the main reason I did this is I'm going to get 1 award ribbon per hue that I have, and I have 3, so I'm going to get 3 black ribbons. So I'm going to clean up the player area a little bit, and then we're going to get to final scoring. So now we go to final scoring. Go ahead and do mine first. I have 2 greens, that's going to give me 8 points. I have 1 blue, that's 1 point, so that's a total of 9 so far. I have 3 purples, that's going to give me 9 points, so that's 18. I have 4 bonus awards, so that's going to give me another 8, 2 points of each of them. So 18 plus 8 is 26. The easy Automa has 3 greens, so that's 13. 3 blues, that's 24. 1 purple, so that's 25. And 5 bonus awards, so that's a total of 35. So I didn't even beat the easy one. So 35 to 26, and we'll go ahead and see what Georgia did. So Georgia got 2 red, so that's 5, 3 greens, 13 is plus 5 is 18, 3 blues, 18 plus 11 is 29, 2 purples, that's another 3, so that's 32, and 2 blacks, that's 34, 36. So the normal AI got 36, the easy AI got 35, and I got 26. So I was hoping to have the easy AI in there. Maybe they would score about 22, and I could take the lead and at least not get last. But that was definitely not the case. Maybe I should have taken an extra turn there at the very end just to maximize my points. But I didn't really see any cards out there that were going to help me. But once again, I do I do not claim to be good at this game, so maybe you saw something that I didn't see. So that is how you play a game of Canvas versus a solo opponent. You can play just 1-on-1, you can play 1-on-2, you can play 1-on-3. You should have enough tokens where you don't have to go get pennies or something to track the different columns. You should have enough ribbons for 3 opponents. I will say when you make the cards and you cut them along these black lines on the right and left, and this will give you a perfect fit. So that you don't have to use other cards. You can just sleeve them into the other side of the background cards because these aren't used for anything. When you cut out the solo cards, the Automa deck, you might have to trim these just a little within the cutting line to get these to fit. I'm using Fantasy Flight red sleeves. I know they've been discontinued, but you can go online and see exactly what the measurements are for these sleeves, and you can find an appropriate sleeve that mirrors this one that has the same dimensions. I think Sleeve Kings has one that's supposed to replicate this, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so just go online and see what you can find. With that said, the Automa is now on BGG, so you can go off and print it if you would like. I will say the way I designed this graphically, I was not able to produce a low ink version, so I apologize to all the color printers out there for the ink costs. It's not a ton of pages, so hopefully that it won't be a deal breaker for you. And if you're not scoring 40 plus on a consistent basis, I would not play on hard, so you don't even have to print off the last page. And technically you don't have to print off the first 2 pages. It's the rules. You can just bring them up on your phone, or you can watch my how to play video. So I think there's a total of 7 pages, so if you take 3 of those off, then you're only left with 4. So it's up to you. Hopefully that's not a deal breaker for you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this now brings you another solo mode for Canvas. I know it has several already in the box, but none of them give you an opponent or opponents to play against. And so I hope this does that for you now, and so you can enjoy it in that way if you so choose. All right. I hope you'll have a great Saturday or whatever day that you're watching this in the future, and happy gaming.